Facebook, YouTube. Thought I'd do something a little different. Take a video while I'm driving. The other way around. So I'm on my way to Streetsboro, Ohio, to drop this load. And then a mile away to pick up another one. And then head for Orlando, Florida. So, oh boy. Anyway, smoking along at 55. No hurry. Actually, I've got till 2300 to drop this, but I've got till 4 o'clock or 1600 today to pick up my other one. So I got to call them about noon. Once I drop this, call them at noon, he said, to see if my trailer's ready to be picked up. Otherwise, I'll have to kill some time till 4. Anyway, truckers flying around here somewhere. She's being a little shit. I wouldn't let her out. There was no place safe to let her out and play.
Attention, a new important message has
So she was pretty mad at me. She was biting and jumping on the steering wheel when I was trying to get fuel. Anyway, what I was talking about these invisible forest people is you can hear their footfalls and feel them in the ground, because I think it's so close to the ground that it transmits sound. If they're in a different dimension, and because of the magnetic forces here on Earth, it has an effect somehow and allows the sound to come through to this one, to this dimension. That's all I can figure. It's got something to do with magnetic forces and gravity and dimension to dimension. So I think that's what's going on. Anyway, I had a shower last night, or early this morning actually, like 3 o'clock this morning. Went back to bed for a while. Got bedhead a little bit. I went back to bed for a while. Anyway, I think that's what's going on. That's why you can hear them when they're invisible. And I know, you guys all think I'm crazy. Invisible shit. How do we know? We don't know. Anything could be true in this world. There's beings from other planets coming here. Why not a being that already lives here do crazy stuff? I heard in an email on Steve's channel, The Facts About How to Hunt, that somebody said one of the natives sent an email and explained that when they're younger, the Sasquatch or Sabe, that they leave with the star people for a little while. And I think that's probably where they're learning some of this stuff from. The Greys, the Nordics, the Pleiadians, who knows? Nobody really knows. The government knows a lot more than they're letting on to know. Like I said before, I think, well, when the government looks into something, they have unlimited resources. And I think they may have found like some native people who can communicate with these forest people. And I say people because they think and act a lot like a people. So I think they found somebody that can communicate with them, and they've got all kinds of answers, and they don't want to give up a secret. That's the thing. That's what I think. So anyway, I just read the text messages from my friend in Minnesota that's been having encounters with invisible ones on his land. That's why I'm discussing this invisible stuff and the noises. You can hear them walking. But they had his dog scared. She was frozen in fear with her head down on the ground. And he told them to leave his dog alone because she's a good girl. And a couple of times that's happened, they let her be, and she got back up and she was okay. That's just amazing. So anyway, I just thought I'd discuss this invisibility thing and the forces involved that's allowing the sound to come through. Because it's so close to the ground or connected to the ground, the vibration of those sounds are allowed through somehow because of the magnetic gravitational forces involved. That's all I can figure. That's one theory anyway. So Minnesota Sasquatch Trucker at gmail.com and Minnesota Sasquatch Trucker on YouTube. I'm excited to get the word out to people that these things exist and people are seeing them and having encounters with them. I might have mentioned this one before. This guy I know was deer hunting with his brother-in-law, and the dude was in his deer stand. Somebody was throwing pebbles at him, and he got snapping pissed at his brother-in-law, and they even got in a fight about it. He accused his brother-in-law of throwing shit at him. His brother-in-law was like, "No, man, I wasn't doing that. It wasn't me, you know." It's like, who else would be out there doing that? Well, he didn't believe him, and he was pissed at him, and he was mad at him for a year or so. Because, you know, if you're going to pull a prank like that on somebody, you might say, "No, it wasn't me," but after a while you go, "Oh, yeah, it was me, you know, I'm sorry, man." But no, he just said emphatically, "No, it wasn't me, man." And then when I told this guy, I said it was a Sasquatch. And he's like, "Oh my God, that's what that was." I think he said something about it was just like deathly quiet out there, and they did not see or get any deer that day. And we know why. You know, the deer are pretty smart, man. When there's a Sasquatch around, they split. They don't hang around. You know, there's people who said deer ran right up to the tree their stand is in and stood there for safety. Here you're hunting a deer and the thing's standing right below you, all lathered up from running, scared shitless. And I could just see that, you know, you're looking down, it's like, damn, don't you know what I'm going to do to you? The deer's thinking, not nearly as bad as what's going to happen to me from this Sasquatch. This thing's going to rip my head off, you know? So anyway, yeah, those are just crazy stories, man. And then this other story I've heard, this guy Every year they'd go out deer hunting. And when he'd get one, he'd track it down, find the pool of blood, and the deer was gone. This happened over and over. He was just getting snapping pissed. So one time he yelled out in the woods, "You son of a bitch! Quit taking my deer! If I see you, I'm gonna shoot your ass, you know, I'm gonna kill you! Quit taking my deer!" So yeah, that's pretty crazy stories out there, man. And they're not stories, they're real life encounters. I believe these people. Thousands of people cannot be making this stuff up. And like I said before, they're not getting together and make a lie about a Sasquatch encounter party and say, and all get together and say, all right, when we write an email lie, this is what we're all gonna say. So we all have similar experiences, similar stories. No, that ain't happening. You know, this truck, this International, it's got a dip like this. The hood comes up and then it curves into the windshield wipers. And when the sun is up above and behind you a little bit, it catches that inside curve and you can see it shining right in my face. And it goes all the way across there. This International's been a great truck. It rides way smoother than a Freightliner. But that's one design flaw that bugs me more than anything. That damn sun reflect. All they do is just keep coming up with that, you know, or have it hump over a little more, then down. But they made a concave surface, and it even, because of the inside curvature, it even focuses that sunlight even more into a sharp beam. So yeah, it's like, and then you try to sit this way or this way, like right here, it's okay. But yeah, anyway, International's been around a long time. You'd think they'd have that one figured out. So if anybody is listening to this, works for International, tell them to change that design. Make the hood a little flatter there so it doesn't have to come up and then scoop down in. Anyway, so there's my thoughts on the invisibility and the sounds thing. So, yeah, I'm
In 5 miles,
Coventry
stay left to continue
Township
on
limit in
I-77.
Ohio. Headed towards Cleveland, north on 74. So anyway, there was just a short video explaining my theory on the sounds. But the invisibility thing, I have no idea how they do it, why they do it. This friend of mine has asked them to show themselves, and they never have. I believe it was video number 17, the one right after this one. Or right before this one, I mean, I'm sorry. The Encounters in Minnesota title. So anyway, keep on trucking.